or strategy to offset some of the events or a repetition of the events that have taken place here in Los Angeles recently, we have to go to the root. We have to go to the cause. Dealing with the condition itself is not enough.
Dear Mr. Massa, I'm just trying to mind my own business. What's the matter? It's just another day, another black king captured. I'm about to lose my brain, stuck inside this ghetto rapture. I got a lot of smoke. If you want it, you can have it. They want a hat trick, but this is black girl magic. Ain't talking about the kind that'll make you disappear, but I'm talking about the power of the melanin within. Ain't looking for trouble, but I'ma say this one time. I put two dukes up if you try to touch mine. We still want justice for Tamir and Trayvon. You say you don't see color, but racism ain't blind. They targeting little kids whose skin look just like mine. So I'm paranoid, it's a war zone outside. And I'm a black queen, so if you ask me to step out of my car, you gon' have to snatch me. Cause I ain't going no damn well. Had to spend my whole life living unfair. Ancestors got my back and they right here. You can never understand, it's a nightmare. Living in my black shoes by the black rules. You can keep your handshake, I don't dap coon. The white man to go nuts if he can't shoot. But you all on his side like a damn fool. Make it make sense.
We are oppressed.
Queen.
We are exploited. We are downtrodden.
Make it make
We are
sense.
denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Ahmadiyyah.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Ahmadiyyah.
oppression and exploitation
Queen.
away from us or aside from us is come together
Queen.
against the common enemy. Who taught you to hate the texture of your
Ahmadiyyah.
hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin?
Ahmadiyyah.
Parents, pay attention to the books, the school system, even to your little children. Lies mixed with wisdom. His skin too bright, so he was blind to the prison. My skin just right, so I collide with division. You trying to pray to God, but we tired of religion. No savior saving, we got to save our savings. We used to pay miss, how we gon' make the slave rich? But who's to blame, and tell me why you complaining? We need a team effort just to rule the nation. Like a bad relationship, missing communication. We missing moderation. They're trying to get a poison to my population. No reparations, I'm getting tired of Satan.
We are oppressed.
I'm
Queen.
getting tired of waiting.
We are downtrodden.
Queen.
We are denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Ahmadiyyah.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Ahmadiyyah.
oppression and exploitation.
Queen.
Touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen. Why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunsa. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. See a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all in Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threat.
This is the sound of Eric Von Malcolm.
It's a cut on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threat. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece, this time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got
Wait,
You got one
she had
minute
no
to say whatever you
idea.
wanna say
She
about
was
it.
going at it on her 3
On
emoji
this
face with
phone.
tears of joy.
You got 1 minute. Curse. So curse. You can say whatever you want to say. Okay, I'm walking out the bathroom and I'm coming. Say whatever you want to say. About me. What if you want to say when you get mad at me? I'm saying 1 minute. Okay.
Oh, y'all, this bitch got on my nerves. She always whoop me like, damn, why you keep whooping me, bitch? Like, bitch, I tired of you whooping me. Your ugly ass, stank boot ass. So ugly. Your shit smell like dog shit. You eat dog food. Ah, forgot you don't live nowhere cause you poor as hell. You stinking bitch, ugly bitch. You stink. You stink, smell like shit, ma. Smell like shit, dog shit. Will you shit? Smell like dog shit. We be having spray perfume cause you smell like dog shit. Dog shit. Dog shit. Dog should be stanky. Dog should be stanky. Dog should be real stanky. So stanky.
We don't go 50-50 in our relationship.
So we don't go 50-50 in our relationship because I work 70 hours a week and I pay all her bills. She a stay-at-home girlfriend because we don't got no kids. We live separately, so I pay the bills at her house and my house, take care of her like the queen she is. And you do stuff, what you do? Just let them know what you do too. Pack my lunch and stuff like that.
Yeah, sometimes I'll pack him like a little Lunchable.
She ever got to go out and work for anything, so I got my stuff going direct deposit straight to her, and then I have to ask her, can I use my money when I need gas and stuff like that?
Because I've been using that money to go towards, my nails.
If y'all men out there want a pretty woman, y'all gotta do stuff like this. Is this how you get them? I'm actually about to have to go to work in 30 minutes. I gotta go get dressed. I'm not even dressed. I just wanted to do this video because y'all be chiming in on our relationship all the time. But if y'all want to, no, kiss me on the lips.
Not right now.
No, kiss me on the lips.
Stop.
Stop. Stop.
After you get off work.
I don't know about you all, but I absolutely cannot, honey. This is all nefarious. Now, do you all see how foolish she is? Denise said she won't even... Hold on. Denise said she won't even live with that fat man and packing Lunchables. I mean, really, honey, that's lunch? Terry had said, oh, okay, he has low self-esteem. Queen Sam said, when is the last time you had some loving from that gold digger? Okay, probably never. Stacey said, Lunchables, I will cook my man some real food. That ain't her man as far as she's concerned. He's a paycheck. Now, mind you, he said that his check is directly deposited into her account. And that he has to ask her for his own money, and he works 70 hours a week. Whatever job he works for 70 hours, it must be sitting down. He can't be doing any hard labor, is all I'm saying. This is all crazy. Deronda said that house should be smelling like a whole restaurant. She didn't want to kiss that man on his lips. I wouldn't be a fool. Like my great aunt used to say, I wouldn't be a fool if my nickname was Fool. Okay? How desperate are you? How desperate are you? And he seems to think that this is what you have to do to get a pretty woman. Well, I guess when you look like him, that's what you have to do, apparently. But hey, what do I know? This is all crazy. But let's get into these receipts, honey. Okay? Juju said, I'm hollering. I am too. Deronda said she got a side piece. Honey, he's the side piece, okay? He thinks he's the main squeeze because he's paying all her bills and his money's going into her account. He's the side piece, all right? She's not thinking about him. She probably makes up every excuse to not give him any relations. Okay, this is all sad. Queen Sam said, I've got to use that one, Queen. I wouldn't be a fool if my name was Fool, okay? Please pay attention. Juju said, she said, your shack smell like dog shack. Okay, that little girl went in on her mother. Now, I'm sure Her mother didn't know she was going to say all that. Probably thought she'd say a few curse words and that'd be the end of it. But she went in on her mom. And here's the thing. Notice how she emphasized her mother's body odor. I think she was serious. Okay, I think she was so serious because she was emphasizing that. That's all she kept talking about. Yo, it smell like dog ish. You stink with your stanky booty ain't. I mean, she was going in, honey. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Okay? Queen Sam said that's a whole shirt, Queen. Miss Elevation said, put some mayo on those Lunchables. It's all sad. It is all sad. K. Jimmy said, LOL, Queen. Whose page is that little girl on? I need to watch it again. I found that on Instagram. On the Neighborhood Watch. Okay, on the Neighborhood Watch, I believe, on Instagram. Okay, Queen Sam said, we got to spray perfume when you around. Yeah, that's what she said. All right, Terry Hill said, Mama stank. That crazy bitch said, y'all straight up nefarious. Honey, that little girl is nefarious. But what is it with all of these parents these days posting videos of their children and telling them you got 2 minutes to say whatever curse words you want? Y'all don't think that's interesting? Because I really do. So anyway, let's get into it. Okay, let's get into it and let's talk about Valentina Gomez. Because she said if y'all don't like what's going down in the U.S., you need to get your arses out of here. Okay, that's what she said, ninjas. So let's get into it. Missouri Republican candidate burns LGBTQ books. This is what she did previous, just to give you all some intel on her. She burned LGBTQ books with a flamethrower and posted the video online. So she's been nefarious, okay? So it goes on to say, Valentina Gomez, who's running for the GOP nomination for Secretary of State, posted a video on X, formerly known as Twitter, on Tuesday, advocating for the burning of books that she deems inappropriate for children. Now, in the contentious video, Gomez is seen wielding a flamethrower against a pile of books, including titles such as Naked, Not Your Average SEX Encyclopedia by Miriam Dagusin-Bernier, and Queer Second Edition, and all of this. Okay, so here's my thing. Now, whilst I do think that some books are not appropriate for children, her burning them with a flamethrower, okay, hold on. Somebody said, Pearlie said she was dead serious, Queen. She really was. That little girl is bad as I don't know what. And she said her mother keeps whipping her. Little girl, that's why. Listen to your mouth. Okay? But so anyway, now this woman, to me, there she is with the flamethrower. She set those books on fire, honey. Right? This was all a clout chase. This is all just, overly dramatic, as many of the Republicans are, as far as I'm concerned. But let's get into what she said about black folk, honey, on Juneteenth. Because she clearly had a whole lot to say. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. Republican candidate tells black Americans to leave the U.S. in a Juneteenth message. Y'all heard what she said. Y'all heard what she said. So let's talk about it. This is all crazy. Nobody likes black folk. Y'all notice that? Nobody likes us black people. And the sad thing is, we're all we got. But we have people like Fulio and Young and Ace and others just taking each other out. See how that's nonsensical? But let's get into it, because here's what happened. So a Republican candidate for Missouri Secretary of State has told black Americans who do not like the country to kindly leave in a post that was posted on a video that was posted on the eve of Juneteenth. Now, Valentina Gomez, who previously caused outrage for urging voters not to be weak and gay, accused the federal holiday commemorating the end of slavery in the U.S. of being the most wretched holiday, and that black people should no longer be seeking reparations. Wow, I find that all interesting at the end of the day. I find it all interesting at the end of the day. But anyway, she's a staunch Trump supporter too, just for those of you who don't know. And so in the video, Gomez, a staunch Trump supporter, arrived days after the former president's 2024 campaign before the team announced a Black Americans for Trump initiative to try to persuade African Americans to support the Republican in November's race against Joe Biden. Now, the coalition includes Representative Byron Donalds of Florida and South Carolina Senator Tim Scott. Now, Gomez posted her latest video on Twitter attacking Juneteenth. Let me see if I can pull this video up, honey, because this is all a mess. Here she is. Okay, we're going to look at this. Because I'll say, what now? She's not even from here. But she wants to tell us to leave. Let me tell you something. That's why I be saying there is no black and brown coalition. I'm sorry. And it isn't all of them, mind you. It isn't all of them. But there's ones like her. Okay? There's absolutely ones like her.
Reparations from slavery.
Oh, hold on. Hold on. Let me see something. This might have music on. Hold on. Okay, I can't play it. It has music attached. I'm sorry. But anyway, she's basically saying that BLM raised millions of dollars. But what did they do for Black lives? She says it's outrageous to see people asking for reparations. And even though they never went through slavery. That's what she basically said. So let's talk about it. Because, this is always their excuse. You see, people who don't want us to get reparations out of hate and envy, that's all it is. I want you to pay attention. It isn't that they don't think that we haven't been mistreated. It isn't that they don't know how we had to fight for civil rights and how many of our ancestors lost their lives simply because they were trying to vote. It isn't like they don't see and witness the police deleting people who look like me on a regular basis, it seems, just for simple traffic stops. It isn't that they don't know about redlining, okay, about black codes. It isn't that they don't know about medical genocide. It isn't that they don't know about the Tuskegee experiment or the race riots in this country or Tulsa, Oklahoma bombing. They don't. Or the even more recent, in 1985, the bombing of Operation Move. It isn't that they don't know these things. And that if these things happen to anyone else who didn't look like me, if these things happen to Latinas, if these things happen to white people, if these things happen to any other race, they wouldn't be saying these things. They would think that those people were deserving of recompense. But the reason they don't want us to get anything is because they don't want to see us get ahead ever, because they hate us, they envy us. And at the end of the day, if they can't get anything out of it, it's not going to benefit them in any way, shape, or form. Well, no, we don't want them to get it. That's what they say and think. But what I find even more interesting is the fact that they love to throw that narrative out there and say, none of them were ever slaves. None of them ever, even saw or met a slave. My ancestors never owned slaves. Here's the thing. At the end of the day, did they say that about the other people who continue to get reparations for an atrocity that didn't even occur on this soil? Do they say some of them were not even involved in what happened during World War II over there in Germany? Do they say that? Not World War II, but do they ever say anything about, some of these people, they weren't even there. They weren't even alive when this incident happened over in Germany. Do they say that? No. They don't say that. Do they ever talk about how some of them don't have tattoos on their arms that show that they were in concentration camps? Do they say that? No, they don't. Do they say anything about the Italians who received, reparations for the many, I think it was like hundreds of Italians that were lynched, like at least 150? Do they say anything about the ones who weren't there when the lynchings happened and who didn't even know those people? Do they say anything about the Japanese who were given reparations for Hiroshima and Nagasaki? No, they don't say anything about that. But it's so funny that every time a black person mentions reparations, the first thing out of their mouth is, well, they were never slaves. Here's the thing. We're not just owed reparations for slavery. Fool. Okay? Somebody tag her in this video. We're not just owed reparations for slavery. What about Tulsa, Oklahoma, all the numerous race riots that started based off of lies and deceit? There was the one in Detroit, the one in Chicago, the one right here in Atlanta, okay, in the Sweet Auburn district. There was the one in Rosewood. There was numerous of them, so many I can't keep track. What about Jim Crow for 150 plus years? Segregation, fighting for civil rights, not even being allowed to vote. What about it? How does that make any sense? It doesn't make any sense. You see, that's how you know it's nothing but hatred. Okay, nothing but hatred. And a lot of these Latinos want to pass for white. And so they'll go against us and talk down on us. But then when they need a favor, oh, here comes the Black and Brown coalitions, what they want to talk about. It all gets on my nerves, and I'm quite frankly sick and tired of it. And at the end of the day, this is why our people need to be united. Thank you, Danielle said Emmett Till. Yes, a myriad of lynchings. What about Michael Donald in 1981, found hanging from a tree? Because white folk were mad because a white officer lost his life at the hands of a black man. And so they couldn't get the black man who actually did it because he was in jail. So they went and did it to a random black person that they met, a teenager who had nothing to do with it. What about a few years ago, before the pandemic, when there was people in Atlanta being found hung from trees? A black man found hanging in Piedmont Park. A black woman found hanging from a Walmart. A 19 or 18-year-old college student found hanging from a bridge, all in 1 year. What about that? What about all of those black men who came up missing, were found lynched in Mississippi that nobody wanted to talk about on the news? What about all of these things? What about Gloria Bambo down there in McKinney, Texas in 2020, found hanging in the home of her white roommate? He and his mother were there, and she was hanging in the garage dead for 3 days. Nobody arrested. Nobody arrested. What about George Floyd? Exactly. Well, at least Derek Chauvin went to prison for that. But all these other cases that I've mentioned, nobody even got arrested, let alone sentenced and convicted. What about James Byrd? Yeah, they got death row. But exactly, the thing is, Terry Hinn said Gator Bait, yes. So when I hear someone like this witch saying certain things like that, first of all, why do you care about Juneteenth? If you don't want to celebrate it, then don't. Then don't. And here's the thing. Juneteenth is more so not just a celebration of our people being free from slavery, but more so for the people that didn't even know they were free until 2 years later. They still had them being slaves. They didn't even know that they'd been freed. I want y'all to marinate on that for a second. Rosewood, California, says Deronda. Rasheen Carter, exactly. Rasheen Carter, yes. That was what, 2022 or 2023? Not to mention Tyrekus Atwood, who fortunately was before Rasheen Carter, but fortunately was able to escape. What about Jelani Day, the 25-year-old medical student? And we still haven't had anyone arrested for him, and they don't even care. They want us to think that he put himself out there in that river. He did that to himself. I'm sorry. And the victims of Tulsa, the last survivors of Tulsa, are over 100 years old, some of them. And they still don't want to give them anything. They're just waiting for them to die. They're just waiting for them to die. That's what it is, okay? Low down and nefarious. But let me continue, because there's more where this BS came from. Please pay attention. So now there is a white man who was crying his little eyes out, begging for everybody to unite. No matter what color you are, black folk, I need your help. Now, at the end of the day, this reminds me of when they were talking about, overturning the Roe v. Wade decision. And then you had all these Karens come out of the woodwork asking women who look like me to stand in unison with them. And then one of them said, I know, black women, we haven't been there for your fight and your struggle. We didn't help you and support you, but please, this is for all women. Our body's our choice. I don't give a damn about your body or your choice. Okay? That's what I don't care about. Yes, they should stop abortions as far as I'm concerned. I'm pro-life. I don't want black women to be able to get abortions. That is genocide as far as I'm concerned. So no, that's your problem, not ours. We should never stand with people who don't stand with us. Okay? That's what we should do. So let me go to this video right here. Well, before I go to the video of the guy crying, I'm going to go to the video of this woman talking about reparations. And then somebody got in her comments talking about black people don't need reparations. They just want free stuff. And she set him straight. Okay?
Hey, white people. It's Juneteenth. And that means that we are celebrating the freedom of Black Americans who had been enslaved. And while it is a beautiful day in history when finally all enslaved Americans were able to have the knowledge that they were now free, if we know anything about history, we know that it took a long time for there to be actual freedom in terms of things like civil rights, and that we are still fighting an oppressive white supremacist system of government, and there are many ways in which many people are still enslaved to that system. So it is a day for celebration, but it's also a day to reflect and say, what more can we do? How much farther do we need to go? Very far. We have pretty far to go still. But that doesn't take away from the celebration. As a white person, what can you do to celebrate Juneteenth? You can refrain from questioning why we have such a holiday and why it needs to be a federal holiday, which it now is. We don't need white people. We don't need to question the validity of this holiday. We need to understand that it is a valid day to have, and let's celebrate it as such. Things that you can do, active things, like things you can actually do, is support Black-owned businesses today. Do a little Google search and find out in your area, where is there a Black-owned restaurant, store? What are the things that you can do to support the Black community where you live? Maybe you need something done in your home. Let's go to a Black-owned electrician company, or air conditioning maintenance company, or a contractor. Let's try to give money to communities that have been systemically oppressed over the years. It doesn't look like reparations are coming anytime soon, so think about how you can incorporate a form of reparations in your own life. Happy Juneteenth.
True, not one Black person alive today was enslaved in America. That is true. Black people are wanting free stuff. Okay, I don't know. I want free stuff, so I guess white people want free stuff too. Reparations isn't about someone who had been enslaved and now is not enslaved. We had a chance to do that, and we blew it back in the 1880s and 90s. So 40 acres and a mule, for some it was more, for some it was less. 40 acres and a mule is what was promised to those working on plantations. That never happened. Then sharecropping. Then all the Jim Crow. All of those things prevented Black Americans from establishing any kind of generational wealth up and until the Civil Rights Act. Now, we can argue for a really long time that the Civil Rights Act didn't clear everything up. It didn't. But at least it was now illegal to discriminate. So I want you to think about, if your family and ancestors had to start at 1964, where you and your family would be today. How would you have paid for college? Would your family have been able to help you with that? Where would you have lived? Reparations is about making up for what wasn't given then, which could have propelled that community into wealth today. We are finally seeing Black Americans with multi-generational wealth starting to emerge, and it's only going to keep on going, and that's great. But what reparations does is it makes up for the fact that you had all these enslaved Americans, and then, okay, you're free, with nothing. Starting from scratch in a system where they weren't even counted as a full human being, where they were limited in what jobs they could have. They didn't have access to Social Security. Now we have Civil Rights Act 1964. Everyone has equal rights. So imagine if that's where your ancestors were starting. That's why reparations are important. And that's why I think we're remiss now for not taking a serious look at reparations and how we're going to do that. I know people get all hung up on, how do you prove that your ancestors were enslaved? Okay, how about we give low interest mortgages, interest-free mortgages, free college, and maybe that's the free stuff you're talking about, but that will only better our community. So what's the problem? I don't get what the problem is. So educate me.
Okay, so she set him straight. Listen, let me just tell you something. He said black people want free stuff, and she said she's white and she wants free stuff too. Exactly. Who doesn't want free stuff? But reparations isn't about free stuff. Reparations is about paying for the damages that they have caused. It's like when a black person loses their life unjustly at the hands of the police, and then the family sues. They go and hire Benjamin Crump, and they sue to get compensation. That's the same thing. We deserve compensation for all the ills and wrongs that we've had to endure and that our ancestors had to endure. Because here's the thing. Even though we ourselves weren't personally slaves, the fact that they had slavery of people like us, that just trickled down. Those things still affect us to this day. It put us so far behind the needle where it propelled them forward. And that's what she's talking about. So, there are the people that want to make up these asinine excuses. They sound ridiculous. And here's another thing. Because I left a comment for him. And here he is right here. Let me just show you who this thug is. That's him. That's the one who left her that comment. And there were other people who look like him going in on her, basically saying that, that she's just keeping up trouble and that there's really no racism. The only reason that we even talk about it is because people can't shut up about it and all this foolishness. But here's the thing. And then some of y'all were going in on the lady saying she needs to be quiet. We don't need her to co-sign. Well, you do need her to co-sign. Yeah, you do. Because do you think that in a country where we've always been on the bottom and nobody ever cared or listened to what we have to say, that we can fight any fight about something like this by ourselves? You have to have allies when you're talking about reparations. They're not going to listen to us. They're not going to listen to us. And here's another thing. I don't know why some of y'all just don't care about the fact that some white people actually are willing to speak out. How do you build alliances and allies when anyone that comes out and says something on our side that you criticize them? How does that make any sense? Don't you realize there are white people who died during the fight for civil rights? They didn't have a dog in the race. They didn't have to lose their lives or even risk their lives. But some of them did. Let's not forget about Viola Luisa, whom I've mentioned a myriad of times. Let's not forget about the pastor, the priest from Boston, who lost his life to the Klan. Let's not forget about the two young Jewish white men who went down there with James Chaney to Mississippi, and the Klansmen and police took their lives too. Let's not forget about these people. So while some of y'all are in here going in on those people for speaking out like that lady was, some of these people did something that some of y'all won't even do. How many of you would be willing to risk your lives for your own people? But you have some people who are not your own people that risked and even lost theirs. Can please make that make sense? Okay? I'm not against white people whatsoever. I'm against the racist people, no matter whom they are, no matter their race, their creed, or their ethnicity. Like Valentina Gomez. Okay, she's clearly racist against us, and she's not even white. So with that all being said, listen, I don't put everybody under the same umbrella. There are some people who absolutely will be willing to stand and fight with you and for you and die beside you. They've done it before. Let's not forget about John Hines, okay, the man who was shot, the first political assassination, by the way, if you look it up, shot in the courthouse for giving a speech when he was running for office and referred to the black people in the audience, the black men, as his fellow countrymen. They took his life for that because he showed them respect that the racist devils didn't think that he deserved. And so they shot that man, and as he lay there dying, covered in blood, he wrote out in his own blood with his hand, he wrote, "Please tell my wife I love her and take care of the kids." Died alone. Nobody tried to help him. So I'm sorry, but when I hear stories like that, there's no way that I'm going to sit here and act like I don't like white people. I don't like racist people. Okay? That's what I don't like. I don't like racist people. Period. Now, Roddy said they shot JFK in the head for trying to change things. Well, here's the thing. At the end of the day, I'm not so thrilled about the Kennedys. Okay? I think they were nefarious, and I think they were a whole crime family. And at the end of the day, there's an expose that I intend to do on Robert F. Kennedy Jr. because he's a racist as far as I'm concerned. Did you all know that his cousin Michael Skagel was accused and convicted and sent to prison where he still sits for murdering Martha Moxley back in the 70s and got away with it? It was a cold case, and then they came back 20 years later and locked him up. And they had significant evidence as far as I'm concerned. I saw the whole documentary on it. But now, Robert F. Kennedy wants to come out and say that it was a black man that had something to do with it. And then he went on Tasha K's show to pander to the black folk to try to get votes because he's running for president and to basically say, to prove that he's not racist. That's what they said on the show. Tasha K said, "You're here to clear your name." So he didn't come on there to talk at the behest of black people, to give us anything, to promise us anything or whatever. He came on there to clear his name. I want you to marinate on that for a second. And I also want you to think about the fact that the Kennedys made their money off of illegal games. Okay, selling liquor during the Prohibition. Let's not forget that one of them allegedly had something to do with a woman that turned up dead in a lake. Didn't get any jail time for that. Let's not forget about what they said about Marilyn Monroe, how she met her end. So I'm sorry if I'm not a fan of theirs. I used to be before I started doing my research when I was younger and all of that. But were they really for black people? No, they weren't. You see, there's a lot of people that will sometimes say things to make it look like they're for us and they're really not. And you have to be able to use your intuition and decipher the difference. Like Bernie Sanders, because he got arrested with Dr. King and he was out there marching. Bernie Sanders didn't for you. If he was, why did he say reparations? That's divisive. But he didn't say that and have that same energy and smoke when his people got reparations. Okay, when they got a whole library or a museum. He didn't say anything. So with that all being said, no, I'm not a fan of the Kennedys. I'm sorry as far as I'm concerned. They've done a whole lot of dirt, allegedly. And at the end of the day, like I said, I've gathered my receipts on Robert F. Kennedy Jr. when he went on Tasha K's show, sitting up there talking about his cousin didn't commit that murder. Oh, but I think your cousin did. And I'm going to pull up the receipts. Okay, I might do that this week because I've had it for a minute. Now, with that all being said, it's a whole lot of people out here trying to fool people and be Decepticons and all of that and trying to make us think that they're for us so they can get our votes. Okay? At the end of the day. So, and another thing about Robert F. Kennedy, he was so against the venom. If you all remember, he was talking against the venom, but then his wife had a party at their house and said that no one could come unless they had the venom. So how are you against the venom? But your wife says nobody can come to y'all's house for a party unless they have the venom. I'm sorry. Contradictions is all I'm saying. Evelyn said, Queen, give them history lessons. Okay? At the end of the day. Miss Davis said Trump's dad was a KKK member. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. See, I want you all to pay attention to something. Did you all not listen to what Malcolm X said when John F. Kennedy was shot and assassinated? Malcolm said that he doesn't get sad when chickens come home to roost. He said, yeah, that's just, in his opinion, that's chickens coming home to roost. And that never made him say it. Now, why do you think Malcolm said that? You don't think Malcolm knew about JFK? Is that what y'all think? So I'm just saying, end of the day, I used to be fooled too. Like I said, when I was in high school and college, yeah, I thought there were this and that and all this, but honey, I found out the truth. All you got to do is research. Okay, when things don't make sense, it's usually a lie. Please pay attention. Now, with that all being said, let's go to this video of Brad sitting there crying, boo-hoo, crying his eyes out. Let me tell you all something. You see, the thing of it is this. My fellow American said Malcolm X supported JFK. No, he didn't. He absolutely did not, beloved. Didn't you know that Malcolm said when they asked him, you didn't see the video? When they asked him about the man being assassinated, how he felt? Was he sad? He said no. That was the chickens coming home to roost, and chickens coming home to roost never made him sad, made him glad. So what are you talking about he supported? He absolutely did not. Now, okay, Florida Navy said Malcolm only trusted God. Exactly. You didn't support Kennedy? Are you serious? Let me continue. Yes, Queen, make us laugh with Brad crying. I'm going to play it because here's the thing. So he said up her boo-hoo crying. I mean, bawling his little eyes out. And I must be honest and say this. When I see anybody crying, boo-hoo crying from the depths of their soul, I usually will feel a little sad too. Now, depending on who it is. I mean, if you're somebody nefarious or whatever. But like Diddy. But if you're just a regular person, I see you crying and you're going through something, a struggle or whatever, I will have some sort of empathy for you. And I might even get a couple of tears in my eyes. I might even cry with you if your story's sad enough. Now, especially when I see grown men crying, because I know that most men don't want to cry. They try not to. This man's on a whole video boo-hoo crying. And you know what I felt? I couldn't find any F's to give. Unfortunately, I couldn't find any F's to give. Not one. I'm sorry. I tried, but I couldn't find one. Miss J says, once you start digging and researching, things start to come to light. I look at many people differently now. Exactly, beloved. That's what I'm talking about. So now I'm going to show you all this video of Brad just crying. Florida Native said real men cry. Yes, absolutely they do, beloved, because you're human. It's nothing wrong with men crying. But it does make me sad when I see men crying, specifically black men, because I know that men try not to cry. So let's get into it, honey, because Brad needs to sit all the way down. And in fact, here's the thing. Not only did I not cry, if I'm just being honest, I actually laughed. And in fact, I laughed so hard at one point that I literally fell off the bed and bumped my head. I'm not even joking. Okay? It still hurts. That's how hard I was laughing. Because I'm like, dude, welcome to my world. Please sit down somewhere.
I don't know how any of you guys are going. I know you gotta be at the same level of mental health as me. Every day it's something new between the fucking news and the fucking stupid Biden and stupid Trump. And this country's fucked. Every day we're spending more and more money. None of us are getting ahead. The rich people are the ones that are fucking getting ahead. I'm tired of struggling. I've done everything I can. I'm trying to be a good man. I take care of my daughter. I take care of my wife. The best I can. I can't keep going. Every day it's something new. And then on top of that, as if you're not trying to spend money, you have to. Fucking everything's expensive. I own a painting company. I still can't fucking make it. I'm fucking trying, man. I can't look at my daughter and my wife and know I'm failing. I'm fucking Everybody wake up. It's time to stand up. It's time to be tired of this. It's our turn to fucking eat. I want to eat. I want my family to eat. I want you guys to eat. Stand up. Let's go. Stand up, man. Let's fucking eat. I'm tired. Let's help each other. I don't care what your political affiliation is. I don't care what fucking color you are. If you are not eating and you're struggling, eat with me. Let's struggle together then. Let's be a team.
Did you guys see the video of that white T man who he's like crying because he's like, it's so hard to make it. I'm trying. I'm a disappointment to my wife and it's so hard. And then he's like, we should all come together. I don't care whether you're black, white, we should all come together. Oh, I get it. So now it's switching and the curses are like coming on you guys, and you guys are experiencing what black Americans, the children of Israel, the real Jews from the same tribe as Jesus Christ, have been experiencing for centuries, right? So you guys were okay. As long as you guys were ahead of us, you guys were fine. You guys lived in perfect YT Jesus heaven on this earth, and everything was fine. And you were above the NIGGAs, right? So when you had your stature and your position, everything was fine. Now that it's switching, right? Because the Most High is propelling the real people, right? Now it's like, oh, let's come together, and you're crying, and it's us. Oh, so now it's us at the bottom versus them at the top, right? But you guys were in cahoots with those at the top because they look like you, right? And they gave, yeah, sure, you might haven't had as much as the people at the top, your people at the top have had, but you've had still tremendously amounts more than black people at the bottom. So now you guys see your reality. It's not what it once was. Your YT card is, it hasn't been accepted. It hasn't. That YT card, it's not working how it used to when you try to swipe it. It's not. You know what I mean? So now it's like, oh, now let's all come together and we're in this together and it's us against. No. Mm-mm. You can miss me with that. No. Any kingdom, there's people at the top and there's people at the bottom, right? So now black people, black Americans, and throughout the African diaspora, right, we're going to be at the top. You guys are going to be at the bottom now. This is how, in case you haven't realized, this is how this works. This is how this works. This is how you guys' kingdom worked. This is how it worked, right? So now we switch. The first y'all, see, y'all say y'all believe in the Bible, but at the end of the day, like, y'all always ignore that scripture. The first shall be last and the last shall be first. White people, weren't you guys at the top? Right? And we've been last. So now God says that the first shall be last and the last shall be first. This isn't the first figures out that the last are going to be first, and now the first want to come together now with the last. See, y'all just manipulate and do things because at the end of the day, y'all just want to be where the stuff is at because you guys are the fleshly people. You guys are the fleshly people. So wherever the stuff, y'all don't care about nothing else, right? As long as you guys enjoying your blessings and the stuff, that's what y'all want to be at. Okay, that's fine, right? I mean, you guys sold your freaking birthright for a bowl of soup, right? Some chicken tenders. You know what I'm saying? That's what Esau. That's what the white man did. He sold his entire birthright for flesh. Scripture is symbolic that they are the fleshly people. You know what I mean? So no, this isn't money to waters, right? see that you guys are becoming undone. Now it's like, oh snap, now let's get underdone. Like, no, y'all keep playing with the Most High like the Most High is stupid. And it's like, buddy, dude, get it together, dude. Get it together. You guys had your turn. What you are best doing is accepting your fate, just accepting your position, and cleaving to the real children of Israel. Right? Like, this dude, literally, he was crying. Like, this white TV man was crying his eyes out. Like, oh, yeah, my family, and I'm a disappointment, and this. Find the video. It's online. It's like, nah, you guys are seeing what's happening now, right? Seeing that the devil lied to y'all. He lied to everybody, but he lied to y'all. He made y'all think y'all was something that y'all wasn't by exporting fake YT Jesus all over earth. He did that. Don't blame us. Don't blame us.
I'm sorry, honey. I have nothing else to give. Okay, please listen with all of it. He told no lies, and here's the thing. The part that had me laughing so hard that I fell out of the bed is when he said, let's all struggle together. Let's be a team. No, he did say let's all struggle together. Sir, where were you when we were struggling? Anyone? Where were you, sir, when we were struggling? Please miss me with it. Let's struggle together. Now I'm good. I'm good, bro. I am good, okay? Let's struggle together. Let's be a team. That part took me out. I'm sorry. Clearly desperate, okay? Clearly desperate. Now, at any given point in his life, I'm sure he has seen the struggle that people who look like me have had to endure. Was he ever there protesting, speaking out? No, of course not. Sure he wasn't. But now he wants to be a team. Sir, sit down somewhere. I'm sorry. Whatever struggle you're going through, continue to go through it. And here's the thing. You see, one thing that I can say, remember in the words of Frederick Douglass, without struggle, there is no progress. But another thing about struggle is that struggle builds character. Struggle strengthens a person. You see, we as a people have always had to struggle. So that's why we're so relentless, and that's why we're so strong, and we can endure so many things. If you notice, if you look at the rate of people that delete themselves, it's more of them doing it as opposed to us, because we know how to deal with trauma, with drama, with hardships and struggles. We've always had to deal with it. When you come from a life of privilege where you've been afforded a white card, when you've been given chance after chance, and you have the whole world as your oyster, and you have a silver spoon, and even if you don't have a silver spoon, you have access to people that do, so they can give you a leg up. And nobody tells you to pull yourself up by your bootstraps. That's what they told us. But it's hard to pull yourself up by your bootstraps when someone keeps snatching your laces. So with that all being said, a lot of them can't deal with the pressures, the hardships. Okay, if you all remember, I believe it was sometime during the pandemic where this man who had a son who was in college had won the Rhodes Scholarship, which is named after a racist devil, by the way. But also, this man had a master's degree and lost his job, couldn't support his family. And so rather than facing the humiliation, the shame, and embarrassment of telling his family that he was fired and lost his job, he decided to take all of their lives and then his own. That's the kind of things that happen when you're not a person who's built like that. When you're not a person who can withstand the test of time. When you can't weather the storm. When you wake up and realize that every day is not a sunny day, and sometimes there's hell and high water that you might have to tread through. When people cannot deal with that, this is what they do. They get on here crying and bawling and begging and pleading. No, woe is me. Stop being a victim, Brad. Stop playing the victim card. Isn't that what they tell us? Pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Okay? That's what you should do. Dan said I'm absolutely hollering. Okay? Thank you for your contribution, Dan, beloved. Okay, so he could sit down somewhere. All he did, in my opinion, was embarrass himself. Because the people who look like me, who are smart, we're not paying that any mind. I don't have any empathy and sympathy. And like I said, I would like to, but I just couldn't find an F to give. Just couldn't do it. Because how many times have I seen my own people crying, broken, heads bowed, and bloody even? How many times have I seen my people in the streets protesting for simple equality, to not be deleted by the police at traffic stops? How many times have I seen our people lose their lives unjustly? Like the airman, okay, the senior airman, who opened that door with a weapon in his hand to protect himself because he didn't know who was on the other side of that door, because the officer chose to step away from the peephole. So when I see stuff like that, I'm sorry, Brad, I got no tears for you. I don't see anything sad about your situation. What you need to do is, if you have your own company, and then I want you all to pay attention. Now, he says that he owns his own paint company. Now, some of y'all were clowning him because his hands were dirty, but clearly the man just got off work. You know it takes a while to get paint off. When you have paint all over, you have to use paint thinner and really shower and all that. He was probably doing that video on his way home from work. So I don't excuse his dirty hands. That's the least of his problems. But he was sitting there talking about he has his own business. Well, at least you have a business. And if your business isn't making ends meet, then get you a side hustle. That's what black folk have been doing for years, you see. That's what we've been doing for years. But don't sit there and cry, oh, woe is me, and expect us to feel sorry, because we don't. All right? We don't feel sorry, because nobody feels sorry for us when we do it. Okay? Nobody feels sorry for us when we do it. Ha! Clinton Johnson said, pull himself up by his paint buckets. Lady Lina said he needs to file for bankruptcy in a hush. Y'all are cold-blooded. Okay? Al Khalifa said, hey, use them bootstraps. You are terrible. Hold on. Let me see some of these comments here. Oh, my goodness. I have the most nefarious chat ever. Al Khalifa said, hey, use them bootstraps and paintbrushes, player. Okay? Get to work, in other words. Denise said, he strikes me as someone who could take out himself and family. Well, see, that's what people like that do. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Yeah, absolutely. Because they can't take the pressure. But they want to apply all that pressure to people who look like me. Okay? Now, like the lady said in the video, the woman who was talking about Juneteenth and reparations and all of that, like she said, they freed our people from slavery. Just put them out there with nowhere to go, with no sort of resources. And then they made laws also so they could lock them back up and imprison them again. So they said they were free, but were they really? Freed from the plantation, but then they had nowhere to go, didn't have jobs now. Nobody's wanting to pay them. And so then they made the law about loitering so they could lock them back up. I just want y'all to pay attention to that. At the end of the day, this is what's always going on and still continues to go on to this day. You see, they stopped the Jim Crow laws, but guess what? They didn't stop the Jim Crow practices. They still have Jim Crow. They just don't call it that anymore. Okay? They just don't call it that anymore. And then we still have to fight for civil rights. Why do you think that somebody who looks like me can get deleted at a traffic stop? Because you talked too loud, or you said something that the officer didn't like, or you ran. And you're not even supposed to shoot an unarmed fleeing suspect. But they do it all the time, and they get away with it because they say, I fear for my life. But we don't fear for our lives when we see the police behind us. We don't fear for our lives when we see them behind us, and one of them gets out looking like the shirt I'm wearing, and then we have to wonder how this is going to turn out if we're going to make it home alive. We don't have cause or reason to fear. I find it all interesting, like I said. But anyway, I digress. Now let's talk about Roland Martin. Okay, let's talk about Roland Martin for a moment, because Roland Martin was on a panel discussion on his channel the other day. I'm not going to show the audio, but I'm going to play, I'm not going to show the video, but I'm going to play the audio, because something he said that I thought was interesting. Okay, so let's get into it. Like so, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. I'm going to put Roland's face on the screen, and then we'll listen to this.
You see it right here. This is the video, okay? 7 hours ago, 2,600 views. 2,669 views. That's the number. That's the number. Okay? 2,669 views on the White House feed. Now, I'm not sure who else covered this event. I'm not sure what other folks actually streamed the event. We did, and so I'm looking right here. I'm just trying to see what did it do. So we streamed it one time. It did about 1,000 views. We're going to restream it several more times. So the point I'm making here is this here. Very few people are going to sit down and watch the entire 51-minute or 1 hour and 9 conversation. But they have got to be operating with speed. They've got to be dropping out clips immediately, literally as it is happening, while it is going on. It is not, you've got to have the Biden-Harris campaign, the DNC, has got to have a strong social media team that's sitting here kicking that stuff out, that's watching it, that's grabbing clips and posting it literally as it is happening. And so what I should be seeing on Kamala Harris on Instagram, what I should be seeing on Kamala Harris on Twitter, what I should be seeing on the VP's Instagram and the Twitter accounts are multiple clips going out. And that literally means having somebody sitting in the White House watching it happen and going, boom, clip that, 60 seconds, kick it out. Clip that, 2 minutes, kick it out. That's the world we're living in. Not an analog world. We're now living in a digital world.
So, Roland, just for the record, I want everybody to know that I'm saying it's not Roland Martin. The Biden-Harris campaign needs to hire Roland Martin.
No, they can't afford me.
I know, but listen, hear me out, Roland. Here's the reason why I say that. See, because you cannot have a John Doe and a Jane Doe to tell the black narrative. You have to have someone like...
Okay, that's what I wanted you guys to hear. I wanted you guys to hear Roland say that they can't afford him, which leads me to ask the question, which begs the question, were they paying you before, Roro? Because I think they were. You know, he's always, in my opinion, served as a Democratic shield. He's gotten up there and buck danced and boot licked with Hillary on stage. He's always defended them tooth and nail and all of that and went in on those who didn't. I think that they were at one point paying him and now they no longer do because he's of no use. And so now he says they can't afford him. So that lets me know that he can be bought. That's for one. Okay, that lets me know that he can be bought at the end of the day. So, Roro, just as I suspected, you're a sellout, a sold out sellout. As far as I'm concerned. Just thought that was interesting. Said they can't afford him. Clearly, they were giving him some sort of recompense before when he's up there dancing and shucking and jiving with Hillary. Okay? Terry Hartfield said, was he at the freak-offs too? Okay, I have questions. All right, I have questions, but let me leave Roro alone because he already has me blocked. He already blocked me a long time ago, honey. I don't know why. I didn't say too much about it. But anyway, now let's talk about Charlamagne the Devil. Because y'all know I can't stand Charlamagne. But what he said, I find it to be a bit interesting. Hold on. Likes up, everyone. Please like and share. Thank you in advance. Now, Charlamagne the Devil admits to disregarding Tyler's interview questions, saying, I have a job to do. Now, for those of you who don't know who Tyler is, Tyler's the young lady who's African. I believe she's South African. And she sings that song, Water. Y'all know the Water video that everybody was doing, pouring the water on themselves and all of that. Now, I like the song. But she's not that big of a celebrity, in my opinion, as of yet. But so here's what happened. Charlamagne the God has confirmed Peter Rosenberg's suspicions. So earlier this month, Tyler was sat down for an interview with the Breakfast Club. which ultimately earned Charlemagne the God some backlash. At one point in the conversation, he asked the songstress about her identity as South African, a colored person. That's what she calls herself. Now, he was shut down right away. Her publicist made it clear that she wouldn't be answering any questions about that particular topic, prompting some viewers to accuse her of denying her blackness. She later addressed this in a statement, clarifying that it was not at all her intention. Okay, so let's go to the statement. Hold on, beloveds. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Here's what she said. I'm going to share her statement on the screen. All these nefarious pop-ups are just so annoying. Okay, so she's an attractive plant, kind of, but I like that song. I like the song too. I haven't decided whether or not I think she's a plant as of yet, but I definitely don't like her talking points. Okay, so here's what she posted to her Twitter account, X. I'm mixed with Black, Zulu, Irish, Mauritian, Indian, and colored. Mauritian, I guess that's how you pronounce it. But anyway, I never heard of it. In South A, I would be classified as a colored woman. In other places, I would be classified as a Black woman. Race is classified differently in different parts of the world. I don't expect to be identified as colored outside of South Africa, or South A, but anyone not comfortable doing so, because I understand the weight of that word outside of out of SA, which is South Africa. But to close this conversation, I'm both colored in South Africa and a Black woman. As a woman from the culture, that's it's and not or. It's and not or. With that being said, Assambi. Okay, so that's what she had to say about it. So she said that she's both. Now, I get it. That does make sense to me, because we may be offended by the term colored because of us being called that or labeled as that during the era of Jim Crow. But at the end of the day, they do label themselves differently in other countries. Like Jamaicans in Jamaica don't refer to themselves as Black collectively, nor do Haitians and other people. They call themselves by the nationality, which is based upon the landmass where they were born. Haitians call themselves Haitians. Jamaicans say they're Jamaicans. Okay? What do we say? Because there's no such thing as an African American, and even if there were, it would be someone from Africa who's come to America, as far as I'm concerned. Because don't we call Chinese people who are now citizens here Chinese Americans? So how are we African Americans when we didn't come from Africa? At least I didn't. I'm not from Africa. No shade to Africa, but I'm from right here. Indigenous. My people are from here. My people are North American Indians of Cherokee descent, and that's just the fact. And that's what I classify as. I'm not labeled, and nor do I identify as an African American. Okay? So, and some people don't like that. But the bottom line is, so she had a list of questions, or her people, representatives, had a list of questions that they did not want Charlemagne the Devil to ask her about, and that was one of them. Now, there were some other questions. Peter Rosenberg was among the first to call Charlemagne out. He claimed that he made the interview miserable for both Tyler and her team. Moreover, he accused the personality of going through the list of questions that she preferred not to be asked in the interview and asked each of them anyway. He was obviously onto something, as Charlemagne has now confirmed that more or less, that's exactly what he did. That's exactly what he did. Okay, so this is on Instagram. Hold on, let me go to it. Likes up, everyone. Please like and share. I'm going to have to put up an overlay or something because I don't want any problems. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Yeah, here we go. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and show this video because it's already, hold on, I'm going to put an overlay over it and let you all go ahead and see this. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Because Charlemagne the Devil explained why he did what he did, but the thing that I find interesting about it is he doesn't have that same energy for everybody. Okay? That's not what he does for everybody. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Let me see how I'm going to do this. No, that's not going to cut it. Hold on. Okay, I'm going to put Roro over there so you all can just hear what he has to say.
Sometimes, depending what it is, like if it's something like really personal, you know, really serious, something I know is traumatizing, I'll be like, sure, I'll oblige. For this one, I said no.
Yeah.
And the reason I said no, they had 6 things they didn't want us to ask. You want to know what those 6 things were?
Yeah.
They didn't want us to ask about Kai Cenat, the whole "we friends" though thing.
Yeah.
Right? Like, huh?
Okay.
They didn't want us to ask about her not being on tour with Chris Brown anymore. They didn't want us that. Sometimes depending.
Now, hold on for just a second. Because this is what it says. The audacity. Now, this is Erica Mena, who needs to sit down somewhere, because let's not forget that she called Spice a blue monkey. That's why she got fired from Love and Hip Hop, as well as fired from the show Hush. Okay, the audacity of this poster, Ben Dead Beats, gets me every time. I don't know what that's got to do with this, but let me continue. Hold on. Okay, I'm sorry. Clearly I clicked on the wrong video. I was trying to go to the full thing of what Charlamagne said. Now, not only, because there was one clip on Instagram where not only was he talking about the questions she didn't want asked, he went into why he asked the questions anyway. Basically said that she's not that famous. Now, that's true. But the thing is, Charlamagne the Devil picks and chooses who he wants to try to embarrass, who he wants to try to go in on. That's what he does. Because there's some people, he would not have done all of that to them. If they told him not to ask certain things, he absolutely wouldn't have asked those questions. Okay? But goes on to say, according to Charlamagne, Tyler's team previously asked him not to bring up Kai Cenat. Okay, her absence from Chris Brown's tour, a recent injury, comparisons to other artists, her dating life, or her racial identity. He said, I told them no. He also claimed that at one point it was up to them to either prepare Tyler for those topics to be brought up or just cancel the interview altogether. He says, I'm not a D sucker for record labels. I have a job to do, and my job is for the people. What do you think of Charlamagne the God admitting that he asked Tyler questions included on her do not ask list? Are you surprised? Is he in the wrong for this or not? Share your thoughts. What do you all think? Do you all think he was wrong? He said he had a job to do. That's what he said. He said he had a job to do. So what do you all think about it? Miss Davis said Charlamagne the Devil is a puppet for his masters. He absolutely is. He absolutely is. And here's the thing. If I didn't want to answer certain questions, I just wouldn't answer them. Amelia said he's a jerk. Oh, definitely he's that. Absolutely. Definitely he's that. Okay? That Crazy Beach Era said, grab your cake soap, Charlamagne the Fraud. Not his cake soap. Roddy said his job was to Puffy and his white corporate bosses. Exactly. Here's the thing. There was some. Do you all remember how Diddy shut him down real quick when he was wanting to ask about Tupac and bringing up how Diddy, people said Diddy had something to do with it. You saw how Diddy chumped him right on off. You saw how Benny Siegel chumped him right on off. But you also see how there's some people that he feels okay. He feels a little cozy, saying little slick stuff to them because he feels like they can't do anything about it, that he doesn't have to be afraid of them or worried about them. Do you all remember the time he said that Jocelyn Hernandez, the Puerto Rican princess, that he said that she looked like a man? Do you remember that? When she was with Stevie J on the Breakfast Club interview, and that was her man at the time, and he said that right in front of Stevie J, she looks like a man. Charlamagne, what do you look like? The nerve of him. The nerve of him. Jocelyn's beautiful as far as I'm concerned, but the nerve of him. Okay? So, Kajita said Benny Siegel stunned him, LOL. Good recall, Queen. Absolutely he did. Okay, that Crazy Rich Eric said Birdman set him straight. Yes, because he thinks that he can say certain things to certain people. Charlamagne is a hater. Okay, I don't like him, period. Now, if the young lady didn't want to ask those questions, he should have not asked them, I guess, at the end of the day. But he felt like he could because he felt like, what's she going to do? And then his excuse was, oh, I have a job to do. Well, you do the job when you want to do it. Because when some people tell him not to say or ask certain things, he doesn't do it. Okay, so he's biased is all I'm saying. Okay, that Crazy Rich Eric said, is you done or is you finished? Okay, isn't that what Birdman said? He sure did. Now, let's talk about it because how many of you remember your moms, your grandmoms, or your aunties watching The Young and the Restless. And there was a man on there, a character by the name of Victor Newman. Does anybody remember Victor Newman from The Young and the Restless? Anybody remember Victor Newman from Young and the Restless? One's in the chat. Some of you all watch soap operas. Some of you may have had parents or moms who did. The oil tycoon, says Sabrina. Okay, so yes, we all remember Victor Newman. Now, I always thought Victor was handsome when I was a little kid. But here's the thing. I knew I liked Victor for a reason. Because Victor went in on this racist for trying to go in on some of the black members of the cast. His real name is Eric Braeden, by the way. The Young and the Restless actor Eric Braeden goes in on racist troll attacking black soap actors. Calls them a racist bitch. That's what he said. So goes on to say that according to TV Insider, the person first went after General Hospital's Tabayana Ali, later attacking The Young and the Restless stars Sean Dominique, Crystal Khalil, and Brighton James. Now, since joining General Hospital in 2022, Ali has been subjected to many racist messages. The negativity increased after her character entered an interracial relationship with Nicholas Chavez's Spencer Cassadine. Now, earlier this month, the actor took to social media to open up about the issue and to call out her haters. She says, to anyone that hates me, that's obviously fine. That's absolutely fine. I don't know you and you don't know me. But regardless, I'm sending you peace, safety, and prosperity. I also pray you touch some grass, see the sun, eat a delicious meal, and find something to do. Peace and love. This is what she wrote on X. Now, in a series of tweets shared later, Ali urged others not to accept hate and to fight against it, saying, okay, this is the last time I'm going to speak on this today, but we cannot be feeding into people's hate. We cannot be giving it back. We cannot stoop to rude, racist people's levels. It doesn't help. We're fighting too many wars as it is. I believe that we will have our world peace. That's what she says. Now, Ali added that, but we got to find another way to fight. I've realized ignoring doesn't help, but neither does giving the energy back. We're going to, giving the energy back may not help, honey, but it helps me. It helps me. I mean, I'm going to give you back the same energy you give me. I don't care who you are and what you're doing or what you said. Whatever energy I get from you is what you're going to get back. That's just the petty in me. But I digress. She says, we're going in circles, and that doesn't get us anywhere. Everybody might not agree with me, but that's okay. I just want to let those people know I see you. She concluded her clapback. Oh, you call that a clapback? Says she concluded her clapback by condemning those who spread hate online and suggesting they give others and themselves love. Now, weeks after Ali's social media post, an account that appears to have a history of sharing racist attacks against soap opera stars at GHRBB fan 1974. That's the person's handle. They posted a hateful tweet about Dominic, Khalil, and James, referring to them as slaves. Community alum Yvette Nicole Brown retweeted the message and tagged the Young and the Restless X account. Dear @YNR_CBS, have you seen this tweet from this person? She was blocked by @General Hospital site for the same reason or for the same level of racism. Now, Braeden, aka Victor Newman, entered the chat soon after that. And he said, these three actors are dear colleagues of mine. They have more class than you, lowlife, than you can imagine. We're going to block your racist ass. You got that, bitch? So clearly he let her have it. So anyway, here's the thing. These people always have so much to say online. They always have so much to say online. But if they see you in the streets, they're not going to say anything, most of them. Okay? Unless they have backup or they have a weapon and think that you don't. I would tell you like this. I've never, fortunately, been called the N-word in my face. They might have said it behind my back. I don't know. But I've never been called the N-word to my face. And thank God, because back in the day, the old queen, yeah, I can already tell you how that would have turned out. Okay? And I would have landed in jail, I'm sure, for what I would have done, which is put them paws on you. I'm not going to put the paws on anybody for that now. It's not even worth it. I have too much to lose. But when I was younger, I gave 0 Fs. Okay? I gave 0 Fs, and I was always militant and always about that smoke. But now, you know, I'm not going to do that. See, now if you say something crazy like that to me, I'm just going to tell the truth about you. And it's going to start with me going to the biology and science facts. And I'm going to bring that up. Because whether or not somebody thinks you are a ninja, black people, with the hard ER on the end, that's just an opinion. That's not a fact. Because that word supposedly means someone who's ignorant. So with that all being said, that's their opinion. But I could say some things that'll be hurtful because they're in fact true. They're scientific and they're biological, and there's evidence to substantiate these claims. So if anybody calls me that, that's what I'll resort to. I'm just saying. Not going to put paws on you. It's like I said, now I have too much to lose. Back in the day, I didn't give 0 Fs. Okay, I just did. So anyway, shout out to Eric Braden for going in on her. Ryder said Queen was giving him hell, LOL. I sure was. I sure was, beloved. All right. April said all the smoke like hookah. Exactly. Now, with that all being said, let me make sure I didn't leave out anything. I had a video I wanted to show you all about Judge Fletcher, but I didn't upload it, so we'll talk about that tomorrow. With that all being said, I'm going to conclude this broadcast. I want you all to remember that, hold on, what's this? I want you all to remember that there is a live starting at 6 o'clock for those of you who follow the backup channel, okay? For those of you who follow the backup channel. And let me just tell you all something. Hold on. Let me see if I can play this real quick. Let me make sure there's... Okay, so listen. I'm going to show you all this. This is a lifeline. I want you all to pay attention. This is a lifeline, so let's get to it. I'm going to share my screen. Couple of lifelines, and then I'm out of here, beloveds. Pay attention.
Bread is not allowed in Europe because it's not legally classified as bread. Question is, who is to blame here? Is it the company or is it the government? I'd say it's America's insane lobbying. It's a legalized form of corruption. But that's where I'm a bigger fan of European policy. Here in Estonia, I've had the benefit of meeting various people who work in the government, and I look at the policy that they are enacting. For example, in Estonia, 51% of the country is forested. Everything grown here is certified organic. All of this is law. I hate to break it to you, but if you live in the United States and you buy bread, it's not bread. It's a commercial, weird product that here in Europe, we cannot even consider food, and that's what you're putting in your body. Okay. American bread is not...
Y'all heard that? That is not bread that you're eating, beloveds. Okay, please pay attention. That is not bread. But hold on, because there's another video that I want you all to pay attention to. Now, this one, I heard this years ago, and I heard it from the horse's mouth. But I want you all to hear this. Pay attention.
People who go missing, you know that whole thing? They go missing, they get turned into McDonald's. There's a whole thing where pets, I don't know if you guys ever saw this. There was a guy who owns the largest pet food company, and he owns all the kibble. And when a pet would pass away at the vet, they would take that pet, put it into kibble. Same thing with sick people. It gets really weird. And that's the thing, all of these fast food companies, because I don't want to just say that this fast food company is this, it's all of them. They're all owned by the same people. Like, you look into all the companies and all the fast foods, Chick-fil-A, Wendy's, Burger King, McDonald's, you know, Popeyes, Subway, all of it, it's all owned by the Rockefellers. It's all owned back into this book. Like, just straight up, that's just what it is. It's all owned by the same things. It's all owned by the Federal Reserve, the Rothschilds, and the Rockefellers. It's always the same thing. So when people are like, oh, I went to Wendy's and I bought from this. No. You bought from the same companies that also own the other companies which are trying to poison you. It's all the same exact thing. They're all owned by the same people. It's umbrellas. Like there's people.
Okay, please pay attention. I heard that over a decade ago. Okay, and let me tell y'all something. The video of the person saying this is no longer on ScrewTube, but it was a man who said that the people that he's affiliated with, that's what they do. I think I'm going to post that video to Rumble because I actually do have the video. I have the audio, rather, because the man never showed his face. He never showed his face, but he was giving an interview and he was telling some heinous stuff, okay? And he was absolutely telling the truth as far as I'm concerned. So anyway, with that all being said, everyone please like and share. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so you're notified each time Queen Goddess goes live. All right, don't forget to follow me on Instagram at, what is my Instagram? Oh, Dr. _ A Shakur, and on TikTok at Dr. A Shakur, and Twitter at DGoddess27. All right, and so with that all being said, don't forget to catch your spiritual vitamins. And for those of you who are members, I'm going to post a members only video right now as soon as I get off of here. So you'll have 2 videos, and I have 2 more members only videos for the rest of this week. So 3 members only videos, and there's 4 for everyone else. All right. And then we'll probably be live on their Friday because I want to do the trivia. Okay, so everyone please enjoy the rest of this beautiful day. Each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember, beloveds, to keep the Most High first in your lives. Peace.
Hit him with that flavor. Gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen. Why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunta. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. That's See right. A bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all at Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threats. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece, this time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got